Alexander Graham Bell was born March 3, 1847 in Edinburgh, Scotland. He is the second son out of three. His father was Alexander Melville Bell, who was a scientist and author. His mother was Eliza Grace Simmons. She was the daughter of a surgeon. Bell's family had a background in elocution and voice psychology. Growing up, Bell was extremely smart and he graduated high school at the age of 13. He learned even more when he stayed with his grandfather for a year. When he was 16, he got his first position at Ine at Weston House Academy as a student teacher. Bell married his wife when she was 18 years old. Her name was Mabel G. Hubbard, and she was deaf her entire childhood. They had 2 daughters, and she was a great help to him with learning and helping the deaf community. At first, Bell was reluctant to start this invention, but from the help from his professor, Joseph Henry, he received confidence. Over the course of 3 years, he made discoveries and finally was able to transmit a conversation through the telephone. May of 1886, the telephone was patented and the world was changed. If Alexander Graham Bell did not observe the transmission of sounds, the human world would have not functioned the same way it does now. The telephone was one of the most influential inventions of the Industrial Revolution. This helped communication all around the world.
Alexander Graham Bell was a prominent inventor and engineer who is famous for his development of the telephone. Bell was born in 1847 in Edinburgh, Scotland, and showed a natural curiosity at an early age, inventing a wheat husking machine at the age of 12 to help his neighbour's flour milling business. Bell's mother began to go deaf shortly after his 12th birthday, so he helped her to construct a basic finger sign language, and this led to him studying and teaching elocution and speech mechanics at the age of 16 in Scotland. In 1870, Bell and his family emigrated to Canada, and later Bell founded a school in Boston which trained teachers of deaf students. The school was taken up as part of the University of Boston, and Bell became professor of vocal physiology and elocution. In 1874, Bell began experimenting with the phonautograph, which drew the shapes of sound waves based on the vibrations they made. This led to investments from 2 wealthy patrons who were looking at sending multiple telegraph messages on the same line. This enabled him to develop his acoustic telephone, and he applied for a patent in 1875, which was granted in 1876. This was controversial, as another inventor, Elisha Gray, also developed a telephone prototype at the same time, and the actual inventor of the telephone is still in question, although Bell is credited with the invention. Despite this, the technology developed and Bell demonstrated his invention in 1876, and the Bell Company was founded in 1877, and in under a decade 150,000 people owned telephones. He then founded his Volta laboratory, where he continued his telecommunication experiments and teaching techniques. He also worked on early theories of magnetic recording, the basic theory behind cassette tapes, floppy disks, and hard disks. He also invented the metal detector and was one of the founding members of the National Geographic Society. He considered his invention of the telephone as a blight on his scientific career and actually refused to have a telephone in his own house.